Sintiendo la música bailaste sola. Traté de acercarme y pegarme, pero no pasó nada. Decidí regresar y venirte a buscar si te veía hoy. Solo de aquí no me voy. Prende, prende, prende el ritmo que me voy. Prende, prende, prende el ritmo que me voy.
Good morning, guys. I remember hearing Tony Robbins in one of his videos a long time ago say that there are 6 psychological needs, human needs that we all have. And the one that stood out for me was the one where he talks about this need for certainty, the need of knowing that everything is going to be okay. So we all have that. And I believe that one of the things that can improve our lives immensely is understanding some of the stresses, anxieties, worries, doubts, fears that lead to, in some cases, addictions to food, sugar, you name it, anything. We can become addicted to anything. There's a great power in that addiction. And what it is I believe is that we have a certainty. We know that if we do that thing, we're going to feel a certain joy, a pleasure. Well, I'm telling you that the greatest certainty we have is that we can use determination and that power and channel it to do something great. Have a great day, everybody.
See, it's very difficult to speak phenomenally and to not be good. Come on, y'all from yesterday. Not be great, but to be what? Unfreaking forgettable. It's difficult to be unforgettable while you're still trying to look good. You can't do two things. That's chasing two rabbits. See, unforgettable has everything to do with serving at a level so high, so big, so massive that people feel like they have to change their lives because they crossed your path. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. See, when you're willing to use your voice, first you have to recognize that you have one. You got to recognize that no matter your past, you were given a voice, and your voice was given not to keep to yourself. Your voice is not a secret, says the secret teacher. And you have to be willing to use every experience that's ever happened in your life, not as a fortress holding you from using your voice, but as the fuel on why you will use your voice. You got to be willing to not stand in your story, but stand on your story. Yes, yes. It's not in spite of your past that you get to be amazing, that you get to be a change agent, that you get to transform lives. It's because of your past that you're perfect for such a job. When you own it like that, see, there's no question in my certainty about my life. Can you walk with that level of certainty so that when the wind comes and then when the wind blows, and it will come and it will blow and it will be a storm and it will be a tornado and it will look like divorce and it will look like bankruptcy and it will look like an illness and it will look like a loss. When it comes, it will rock you. It will rock you. It will rock you, but it won't move you.
Hey, what's up? My friend Kalakanai here, and welcome to
Humans are built to serve. If you are not happy, it's because you do not feel like you are serving people. If you wake up and you're not happy, you feel like today doesn't matter, today doesn't count, nobody cares if you show up or not, that's the path down to anxiety and stress and depression and suicide, because you feel like you don't belong, because it feels like you could spend all day working on something and nobody's going to care. That's the feeling that nobody wants, right? You don't want to wake up and feel like you're going to spend all day today and nobody will care. Well, how do you get people to care? By serving, by helping. We all want to wake up and feel like today is going to count. It's going to mean something to somebody. And maybe today is the big day that you get that big news or the big deal or the big contract or the big subscriber goal or whatever your goals are. Maybe it's that day. But those goals aren't enough. How many times have you hit a goal and realized, oh, that's it? Right? You feel great? Have that happened to you? Like, oh, I got 1 million subscribers. Wah! And then what? What does that mean? And it's off to the next goal. If you're just living for the little sugar highs, you're not having happiness at the foundational level in your life because you don't feel like you're serving. We have to tie the work that we do into serving. It's feeling like today is going to mean something. If you woke up today and felt like today was going to mean something, today was going to matter, that I'm going to put something out into the world. I'm going to make this YouTube video. I'm just sitting here in my office or standing on my trampoline in my office, that I'm going to make something today that will matter, that will touch somebody. If I felt that, I'm going to show up totally differently than like, oh, whatever, another video. Okay, who cares? You know, record. Hey, Evan, yeah, next, right? You just show up differently based off your feeling about yourself, that you're doing something that's going to serve people. So if you're struggling with that and you're coming up with your list of goals and you've got your dream board and you've got your Lamborghini and your vacation home and an airplane and a fancy hotel, those are not the things that will make you happy. Those are not your real goals. That's a fake dream board. The thing that will make you sustainably happy is feeling like you're serving, and the next level of it is either serving more deeply or more broadly. You take the people who are closest to you and you really focus on helping them and help improve their lives in a significant way, or you're going to reach a lot more people. But if you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. So how do you do it? How do you serve at a higher level? I'm going to give you 3 quick ideas that I think will help. Number 1, there's a process I go through. It's called U.H.I. How. So number 1 is your who. Your who is your single most important core value. What is your single most important core value? I write about this in Built to Serve. You can go check it out if you want. Your single most important core value. What is it? For me, it's believe. For you, maybe it's believe too, but maybe it's a good chance that it's something else. But your single most important core value. As you go through it, I found that it's funny how everybody's core value is something positive. This is why I believe people are good, because I've never had somebody's core value come back as hate or death or be toxic, right? Never. It's always something aspirational and positive, which means that people are good. We do things that we're not proud of. We sometimes are negative to others because we're in a lot of pain at that moment. But deep down at a core level, humans are good. So you figure out your single most important core value. What is it? Don't worry about being perfect. Just even right now, what comes to mind? What single word is really important to you right now? A core value. Great. How you can serve is to bring more of that to yourself and then to bring more of that to other people. The ultimate service for me is believing more in myself so then I can believe more in other people as well. The goal of making these videos is to help you believe in yourself more, to help the world believe in themselves more, to unlock the Michael Jordan level genius that we all have inside of us, that you're the best in the world at something. What is it? I don't know. I hope you do, but if not, let's discover it and send it out to the world. Your ultimate happiness, satisfaction, joy, fulfillment will, yes, come from serving other people, but for me, believing in them. If I could help, even through this video or conversation or a clubhouse or a live session, if I knew that I was going to say something that would help even one person on the call believe in themselves a little bit more, mission accomplished. So adding clarity, you know you want to serve. You know if you're not happy, you're not serving, great. How? The first level of clarity is your who, your single most important core value. Figure out what that is. Even if you have a starting point, don't worry about being perfect. The more that you can help yourself and others believe that thing, the more happy you will be. Next level down is your why. So point number 2 is your why. Your why is your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. So whatever you struggled the most with is the thing you want to help other people through. It's great to hold the door for somebody or buy the coffee behind in line or buy somebody a balloon or give a sandwich to somebody who's, hungry. Like, all of those things are great. It's great. These momentary acts of kindness are fantastic, amazing. Do more of them. What will fill you up on an even deeper level is recognizing that your ultimate purpose, your why, comes from helping people who currently are who you used to be. Go back to the moment in your life where you felt the lowest, the loneliness, the least level of confidence you've ever had in yourself. When did you feel worthless as a human? What was that moment? Hopefully it's not right now. It's probably not right now if you're watching these videos because you're on your way up. Go back to when you would never watch one of these videos. Go back to when it was just the worst day of your life. When was that for you? You've come through. You're not done. You're not done climbing, growing, learning, getting better. You're still a long way from where you want to be, and that's amazing. And you're way further than you used to be. Your why, your purpose is to help the people who currently are who you used to be. they'll look to you and see guidance, hope, encouragement, support, inspiration, motivation, because you're ahead of where they are right now. The you from 5 years ago would look to you and be inspired, right? The Evan from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago. Look at 10 years ago on YouTube, I had, I don't know, 100 subscribers. He's trying to make 10-year goals. I would never predict that I'd be here. 10 years ago, Evan is looking to Evan today. He's like, you did all that? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But we never pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves enough credit for those things. And there are millions of people right now who are struggling with the same thing. Whatever you struggled with, there are millions of people who are struggling with that same thing right now, and they need you. They need your voice, they need your help, they need support, they need your guidance, they need your encouragement, they need your words, they need you. They need you. And helping those people will feel so much better than just doing a random act of kindness. There's just levels of service, right? Random act of kindness, great, little candy, but deep fulfillment will be from helping the people who currently are who you used to be. That's your why. That's your purpose. It will never get old. You'll love doing that for the rest of your life. And then step number 3 is the how. The how is, how did you get out of the hole you were in? What were the steps that you took? So for me, getting out of the hole that I was in, where the worst day of my life was quitting my business partner in my first company, how did I get out of the hole? Well, I modeled success. And I tried a million different things, and modeling success was just a desperation play. Like, okay, oh my gosh, I don't know what else to do. Who else has done this? Bill Gates started a software company. What did he do? I felt like I was grasping at straws. Like I had no idea what I was doing. It was just an idea that came to me. I was willing to try anything at that point because the other alternative was just to quit on my company and go find a job. Now, luckily, that was the one that actually ended up working out. And now anytime when I don't know what to do something, I try to model success. Like, who's done this thing and how can I learn from them instead of having to reinvent the wheel every time? And so what have I done for the past 20 years? Oh my gosh, 20 years. What have I done for the past 20 years? Teach people how they can model success too, right? The how matters. How you got out of the hole that you were in, you can then teach other people what worked for you. You tried all these things that didn't work and you almost gave up. And then you found something that did kind of work. And then you worked on it and you improved it and you refined it. That is now teachable to other people.
Hey, what's up? My friend Calicanai here, and welcome to
Show them the process to get out of the hole because they don't see any hope and they think they're stuck for life. And your story, your message will help pull them out in a way that Evan Carmichael can't, in a way that Lisa Nichols can't, in a way that Tony Robbins can't, in a way that anybody can't, but you can, because you are exactly the person that they need to hear from, because you've gone through exactly the problem that they are struggling with. Your who, your why, your how. It's all in Built to Serve. That's your path. If you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. You feel like today doesn't matter and doesn't mean anything to anybody else. And you flip that by reminding yourself of who you are, of why you do what you do, and how you got out of the hole, so you can feel like today will mean something to somebody else. And that if you keep showing up consistently every day and putting in the work, the impact that you will have on this planet will inspire you to a level that you can't even imagine right now. You are built to serve. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
So it's the worst one you've ever seen. I ain't surprised if you know what I mean. She disappeared along with all of my dreams. No pill is gonna fix me, no way. I'm gonna get her to come on back and kiss me and make it all better. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know she took it and tore the whole thing apart. So many pieces, I don't know where to start. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know the way I'm feeling now. You could cut out whatever's left right out. Don't think I really need it anyhow. I've been trying to just forget her, so I had a few drinks. Don't need an anesthetic, cause I can't feel a thing. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know she took it and tore the whole thing apart. So many pieces, I don't know where to start. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? Can't you tell there ain't a whole lot of time? So take a look inside, see what you find. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know she took it and tore the whole thing apart. So many pieces, I don't know where to start. Hey doctor, hey doctor. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know she took it and tore the whole thing apart. So many pieces, I don't know where to start. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? You know she took it and tore the whole thing apart. So many pieces, I don't know where to start. Hey doctor, can you stitch up a broken heart? Hey doctor, hey doctor. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling that power you have, your determination to control your breathing. The same way you can take control of your mind anywhere you are, whatever you're doing. Let's use that same power, that same determination to see in our mind the image, the visions that we want to create today in our lives. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all of the stretches and exercises we do together here and now. Let's use that power we have, our true being, our presence, our determination to see in our mind right now, go into the future. Think about what you want to make real. Bring it to the present. That music goes off. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? Another beautiful day here, outdoors. If you're indoors, wherever you are, let's go, everybody. Here we go. Another wonderful moment together. Another great day in the gym of life. Gym of life never ends. So here we go. We're going to start, when I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot, doing the best jog we can, best jog we've ever done, or we can simply walk on the spot. So depending on how much space you have, we should be able to do this within the space that we have. So here we go. Ready, everybody? When I say go, your best jog ever. Ready? And go. Still focused on our breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Feeling the joy of you commanding your body. Remember, you're the boss of your mind. Your mind is the boss of your body. Almost there. Let's go, everybody. Keep going. Feel the power of our heart starting to beat a little bit faster. Our breathing becoming a little bit more difficult. But feel our power still controlling our breathing. And stop. All right, back to our best walk, either side to side, or simply walking on the spot. But focused on our breathing, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Oh wow, what a day. What another pristine, perfect day. Enjoy every moment, wherever you are, enjoy this. Enjoy your power, your gift. To always work on your mind and your body. Always in the gym of life. Okay, everybody, let's start with our 10 shoulder rolls forward. Here we go, ready? And go. Feel the joy of you rolling your shoulders forward, being able to do that. And backwards, all the way up and around, as high as you can towards your ears, all the way around. Let's do 10. And stop. Let's do arm circles forward. Big arm circles. 10 forward. All right, now let's go backwards. Again, just feel the joy of you controlling your body to move through space. All through the power and control of your own determination. All right, good work, everybody. Hands on your hips, bend your knees, and side stretch. 5 on each side. All right, and let's do twists again. 5 on each side, feet flat on the floor. Really think about what you really enjoy being in this moment here, right now. The power of your presence. All right, the ceiling on our toes or reach for the sky, wherever you are. Here we go. Holding it for 10 seconds. And now reach for your toes, straight knees. Again, feel the joy and the striving. Reaching for your toes, even if you can't touch them yet. Always yet. You get to work all the time. Alright, good. And come on back up. Okay, let's work on our balance. Grab one leg and find your balance. Bend the other knee if you have to. Hold it for 10. Pull that leg back. Feel the power of you finding your balance in this moment. And switch to the leg. And bend that knee. Then you've got roots growing under your feet, going through the ground. Very movable. See. Excellent. All right, and let's hug our knee this time. Bend the other knee if you have to. Big hug. And find that balance again. Hold it for 10 seconds. Lose your balance, you get it right back. Feel your mind controlling your body. Feel you controlling your mind. Right. And switch to the side. Find that balance, bend that other knee, and bring that leg up all the way up. Excellent, everyone. Let's do 5 push-ups together. Here we go. That's 5 push-ups. If you got to keep your knees down, go ahead. Whatever you do your best. 5 sit-ups. What a moment. All right, and let's do 5 squats. Our best 5 squats. Here we go. Feet flat on the floor, looking straight ahead, bending the knees all the way down, all the way up. All right, let's do lunges now. 3 on each side. Best lunges. Turn that back straight if we can, looking straight ahead. Excellent. All right, let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. Always thinking of whatever. Bringing ourselves back to our presence, our being. Okay, and let's sit down and reach for our toes, everybody. Here we go. Ready? Straight knees, we're reaching for your toes. Do the best we can. Always working on motivating our minds. We know bodies will follow. And V shape with our legs, reaching for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Holding it there. And reach for one side, hold it there. Yeah, feel the joy of reaching, striving, doing your best. Even if you aren't able to reach where you want to be. And switch to the other side. Power of you winning right now. Control of your mind. All right, and let's put our feet together and gently push our knees down with our elbows. There we go. Hold it there for 10. Feel the power of infinite intelligence in you being always right now. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Go as far back as you can. Keep that knee on the ground. Put that knee down. Make sure you're not hurting yourself. You should just feel it pull, not any pain. Okay, and switch to the other side. onto our belly and push the ground or the floor and look up at the ceiling or the sky, wherever we are. Here we go, cobra stretch. Hold it there for 10. Feel the power of your being right here, right now. Okay, and legs crossed again, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Here we go. Going into the future, into our imagination right now. Seeing what we want to do our best on today when that music goes on. For me, I'm going to be working on 2 exercises. One is lunges, as many lunges as I can do within the first song. And the second song, as many sit-ups as I can do until that song's over. So what about you? See it in your mind right now. You can play 2 of your own songs. You can listen to the songs I have. But choose your own exercises. If you don't like the ones I'm doing, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do, whatever movement you want to do safely and effectively, see it in your mind right now before you bring it out into the world. You've got determination. You were born to win. To bring out all your visions, all your positive visions of yourself, of people, of the world. The way we do our best on these exercises when that music goes on is an expression, a reflection of the way we do our best at everything. Gym, voice. Here we go, determination. Lunges for me. You can fall if you want, or you can do whatever it is you want to do. Your squats, sit-ups, a dance movement, jumping jacks, whatever exercise you want to do. Here I go. Ready? All the time, trying to maintain good technique, good form. Best we can, always. Just feeling the joy, moving our bodies, doing our best. That's winning. We're born to do that, no matter what. I'd like to put the arms out too, instead of just forward to the side. Change it up. Whatever you're doing right now, keep going. Remember your breathing. Don't forget to breathe. I love it. This is the best. This moment is the best. Wherever you are, wherever you go, you get to always work on being your best at whatever you're doing. That starts with our determination. Controlling our mind, no matter what. No matter how tired, how much discomfort we feel, power to choose.
Mobile just sent me this solar wireless battery.
Let's get rid of that commercial for a second.
I really like the build. It's got handgrips on the side. It's sharp.
And we'll keep going. Keep going. We don't let anything stop us. Until that song's over. Every moment counts. If you're doing lunges with me right now, I'm proud of you. You're up. Keep going. As it gets harder, we work. That's how powerful we are. We have that determination, that choice, that winning choice. Keep going. Sun's not over. Your music, that stuff inside you, for me it's determination, and I know we got it all in all of us. So I use it every day. Let's go. You're using it now. Keep going. Music's still playing. Our music's still going. All right, next song. Proud of my effort. Proud of you. If you haven't given up, keep going. All right, set up for me. Here we go. Always control your breathing. Bring it back to that. See, the fact that you can still control your breathing, even when your body wants to breathe faster, that's more proof of your determination. You got it in you all the time, no matter what. You can apply this, you can use this energy, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. The way you talk, the way you behave, the way you read, write, the way you're kind and loving, use determination. Use your power to be positive and never give up. Just like we're doing right now. On these exercises, on these sit-ups. We're not giving up. No matter how hard it's getting. See, we know the truth. If we do what is easy, we give up. Our life will be hard. But if we do what is hard, and never give up, our life will be easy. So we gotta remember that all the time. That's the power of our determination. Controlling our mind. Motivating the mind so the body will follow. Keep going, determination. I'm so proud of you wherever you are. Because you are who you are. Striving to be better all the time. You are infinite intelligence. We are double I. Infinitely intelligent. Powerful beyond measure. We don't choose to lose. We determine and win. Still with me? Keep going. I love you. So proud of you. Keep going. Even if you stop. Get back up at it again. Keep going. This is the way you're going to live. Even if you stop. Even if you get tired, even if you make mistakes, you're going to learn. You're going to get information. And you're going to eventually win. How powerful you are. That's why I love you and all of us. No matter what. Long song, that's That's okay, that's good. Love it, keep going. Our body will rest and recover. Almost there. Keep going, everybody, keep going. Oh, well done. So proud of you. Feel that? Feel that power, that oneness of us controlling our breathing and our minds? Right here, right now, no matter how hard our movements, exercises were today, no matter how much our body tried to take control of our minds, feel that? That's you. The real you. That's our consciousness. Our being awake fully. To control our minds, to control our breathing, to control our bodies, to control our lives. It's all possible through the power of you being present, staying in the now, right here, right now, wherever you are, wherever you are. There is no past and future right now. There's only the present, the gift that is you. The being that is you, which makes everything else possible. So right here, right now, is just pure presence, pure happiness, pure winning, pure essence, pure determination of who and what we really are. With this power, this peace, right here in this moment, right now, we can always have all the mind health, even greater mind wealth we were built for. I love your determination. Great work today. I'm so proud of you. Wherever you are, take the power of this time we had together, apply it to everything in your life. Doesn't matter whether we're in school, at work, wherever we are. The gym of life never ends. And life is the greatest teacher. That's why I love you and everything and all the infinite intelligence around us. It's life. It's always here. You're always learning, always growing. I love your determination. Have a great day, week, and life always. Until next time. Good morning, guys. Top 10 rules for success. Today, Robert Kiyosaki, in his last page, identifies his 10 rules for success. And the one that stands out for me today is number 1. Experience makes you smarter. And then he goes on to talk about good debt versus bad debt and the value of education and understanding how to use it. You see, most of us view debt as a bad thing. We don't want to be in debt. We want to know that we are in the green column, so to speak, that we're moving forward, we're progressing, that we don't owe anything, we're not falling behind. But Robert Kiyosaki shares with us his wisdom of changing our mindset and changing the way we look at that, because he gives his experience when he first, or when he was starting out, he bought property, he bought commercial buildings, and he put nothing down. And he had debt, but every month that money would grow because he invested in something that was going to make his money grow. I hope this helps everyone. Have a great day.
Tesla has come close to bankruptcy, I don't know, maybe half a dozen times over its life. And actually, probably the most serious one was 2008 and 2009, because Tesla was just a very small company making, in low volume, a sports car that was kind of expensive, and it was basically the only electric car being built at the time. So it was very difficult to get customers and very difficult to get investors. And although I had money from PayPal, I had actually run out of the money from PayPal. So I personally had no money left. In fact, I had to borrow money from friends to pay the rent. I didn't even have a house. So it was pretty intense. And like in that case, we actually raised the money to keep the company going on Christmas Eve of 2008. And that was the last hour of the last day that it was possible to raise money. And if that call had not gone well, then we would have gone bankrupt. That was pretty intense. And then the next most intense time was, the 2018, 2019, when we were struggling to get the Model 3 to volume production. And so we were really in a very tough situation. Because the thing that's, I think a lot of people don't fully appreciate is that while it's actually relatively easy to come up with prototypes and show cars, it is very difficult to achieve volume manufacturing. The notable thing I think about Tesla is not so much that Tesla made electric cars, because others have made electric cars, but rather that Tesla was able to achieve volume manufacturing, I think, as the first US company to achieve volume manufacturing in 100 years, after Chrysler in the 20s. So the difficulty of this cannot be overstated. Production is staggeringly hard, and I have a great deal of respect for companies and people that are able to do volume production and make good products and actually be prosperous. It's very difficult. So it's just one thing after another. And I'd say probably the longest extended period of pain that I've had is from 2017 to 2019. Just about 3 years there.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Elon Musk, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, offer quality services.
You want to sell your product. Consumers want to see its.
There was a bunch of very misleading stuff that was published by ProPublica. And really that was some sort of trickery, and really they did themselves no good service by doing that. So first of all, with respect to the government contracts that SpaceX wins, our aspiration is to do the most for the least. And if you look at all the contracts we've won them because we're the best price. We have a better service at a lower price. They weren't just handed to us.
I don't think they were. And that's what I'm saying. In fact, you called me and said we finally got in after years of sort of this backslapping. I think it's a great thing. That is a great thing.
Absolutely. I mean, for the lunar lander, just taking that as one example, our bid was half the price of the Blue Origin Lockheed bid, half. So for a vehicle that does basically 10 times more or 8 times more perhaps, our price was half.
Okay.
And NASA has a mandate to get back to the moon, so we saved taxpayers like $3 billion relative to that contract. So I think that's a good thing.
Rule number 3, believe in the cause.
There's sometimes a debate about going to Mars one way and whether that makes things easier. And I think for the initial flights perhaps, but for long term, to get the cost down, you need the spacecraft back. Whether the people come back is irrelevant. But you must have the ship back because those things are expensive. So anyone who wants to return can just jump on. So that's. But until a few years ago, I wasn't sure that success was one of the possible outcomes. And now I'm quite sure that success is possible. Of course, there's a long way between possible and making it real, but I believe it is possible.
Rule number 4, find inspiration.
The source of my inspiration, I'd say, is somewhat philosophical. So I think the thing we should be aiming for is increasing the scope and scale of human civilization so as to best ask the right questions for the answer, which is reality or the universe. And so if you accept that premise, then we should work to ensure the long-term survival and prosperity of humanity, of consciousness, and we should seek to extend that consciousness beyond Earth to other planets, eventually other star systems. That is the nature of my philosophy.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, value time.
Introducing Speechalo, the most natural sounding text-to-speech software on the market. Hey.
He did one great tweet about time, saying time is the currency, which I thought was beautiful.
Time is the ultimate currency, yes. No matter what resources you have, you can't wind back the clock.
It's true.
Yeah.
Rule number 6, keep improving.
Going into the future, our goal with Tesla is to keep refining the technology, increasing the scale of production, and make a mass market electric car that almost anyone can afford. That's step 3 on the strategy. So step 1 was high price, low volume. Step 2, mid price, mid volume. Step 3, low price, high volume. So we're sort of at step 2, and now we want to progress to step 3 as soon as possible.
Rule number 7, engage experts.
There's another important principle, which is that you really want everyone to be chief engineer. So that everyone is chief engineer means that people need to understand the system at a high level to know what they when they are making a bad optimization. It's like when they are say this, we've done this many times where we've put immense effort into reducing the engine mass, but hardly any effort into reducing propellant residuals, or order of magnitude less effort into reducing propellant residuals, and then you land with a literal ton of unused fuel.
Rule number 8, create employment.
What is the one thing that has surprised you about your life?
Oh, one thing, wow. Well, I'm surprised by the whole thing, honestly. I certainly didn't expect for any of these things to happen, honestly. Yeah. I just knew, I knew I wanted to be involved in technology. In fact, the only reason I started a company back in '95, an internet company, was because I couldn't get it. There were only a few internet companies, and I couldn't get a job at any of them. I tried to get a job at Netscape, and sent my resume in and tried hanging out in the lobby, but I was too shy to talk to anyone. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to start a company because I can't get a job anywhere.
Rule number 9, seek alternative energy sources.
Solar energy is often underestimated, but the Earth would be just a cold, dark ice ball at 3 degrees above absolute zero if it was not for the sun. And the sun also powers almost the entire ecosystem. You know, from the sun powers the plants and the plankton, and then from there the whole ecosystem above plants and plankton. So you can think of really Earth as being already almost entirely solar powered, and but then there's like a little bit of extra power that's needed to power human civilization, which is small compared to the total solar incidence on Earth. You know, the solar energy on Earth is approximately a gigawatt per square kilometer, and if you wanted to say power all of Europe with solar, you would only need a fairly small piece of land, but in reality, it would be distributed over many pieces of land, so you don't have to have too many long power lines. But basically, like as a rough guide, about 200 kilometers by 200 kilometers of solar would power all of Europe. Maybe even a little bit less, but comfortably 200 kilometers by 200 kilometers of solar would power all of Europe. So, this could be a combination of land within Europe, or perhaps just across the Mediterranean, where there's a lot of sun. But basically, there's so much solar that you could very, very easily, with a very small patch of land, relatively speaking, power all of Europe, all of the world, in fact. So this is important to appreciate, that only a very small portion of the world would need to have solar panels to power all of civilization, and then an even smaller piece of land would be required for the batteries required to store that solar energy overnight, so that you can have energy at night and during the day.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is have fun.
What's going on with you and Twitter? I am a Twitter addict. I say the wrong things all the time. What is it? Someone explained it to me, who's very close to you, saying it's your release valve. This is where you feel better.
Yeah, I think I said some people use their hair to express themselves. I use Twitter.
Do you regret any of it or not? You are kind of prominent.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Walk us through when you decide to do a tweet. You go, no.
Well,
yes.
I think about it for hours.
Do you?
And I consult with my strategy team.
You just literally go, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm wasted and gone. Let me shoot myself in the foot. Bam. Now let me shoot myself in the foot. Bam.
Yeah.
That describes some of my tweets.
Yeah.
What are some of the technological hurdles that you think are really important for us to go tackle? Surely, we're going to get to some better cruise controls on highways. But beyond that, what are some of the things that you would like us to go focus on to tackle for the car industry?
Well, where it gets tricky is just is that sort of urban environment around 30 or 40 miles an hour. So like right now, it's fairly easy to deal with, say, things that are sub 5 to 10 miles an hour, because we can do that with the ultrasonics. Mm-hmm. We can just make sure it doesn't hit anything. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because you can always.
Which is the right thing to do, largely.
Why would you want to hit anything with your car?
Yeah, exactly.
So at 5 to 10 miles an hour, you can stop within the range of the ultrasonics. Mm-hmm. And then from, let's say, 10 miles an hour to, call it sort of 50 miles an hour, that area in complex suburban environments, that's where you can get a lot of unexpected things happening. Like let's say there's a road closure or a manhole cover open, children playing is a big issue, bicycles. Once you get above 50 miles an hour and you're in kind of a freeway environment, then it also gets easier again. Like the set of possibilities is much reduced. So highway cruise is easy, low speed is easy, intermediate is hard. And so being able to recognize what you're seeing and make the right decision in the suburban environment in that 10 miles an hour to 50 mile an hour zone is the challenging portion. But I really think like I almost, this may sound a little complacent, but I almost view it as like a solved problem.
2008 in particular was awful because we had the third launch failure in a row of our Falcon 1 vehicle at SpaceX. The Tesla financing round that we were raising fell apart because the economy was going to tailspin. And it's pretty hard to raise money for a startup car company, late 2008 when GM and Chrysler are busy going bankrupt. That was tough. And then Solar City had to deal with Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Stanley had to renege on the deal because they themselves were running out of money. So it looked like all three companies were going to die. And I was also going through a divorce. So that was definitely a low point.
So it's 2008, you're going through a divorce, which like some, to borrow your word, douchebag bloggers are writing about to make even worse.
Right, yes, that's true. In addition to all that stuff happening, I was getting dumped on massively in the press.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like all three companies are going to fail. I mean, why do you keep going with all three? Like, I feel like even a lot of great entrepreneurs in that situation would have been like, I've already sunk everything I have in these companies, and I got to pick one. But you didn't. I mean, you kept doing all three. Why?
That was a very tough call. At the end of 2008, that was probably one of the toughest calls I've had to make. It's very important to seek out, to actively seek out, and listen very carefully to negative feedback. And this is something that people tend to avoid because it's painful. But I think this is a very common mistake, is to not actively seek out and listen to negative feedback.
Where do you do that? Do you go into forums? Do you go into Twitter? Like, what are your areas where you go to look for feedback on, let's say, the Tesla?
Well, it's like everyone I talk to is, in fact, when friends get a product, I say, look, don't tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like.
Right.
And because otherwise your friend is not going to tell you what he doesn't like.
Right.
He's going to say, oh, I love this and that, and then leave out the this is the stuff I don't like list, because he wants to be your friend, doesn't want to offend you. So you really need to sort of coax negative feedback. And you know that if somebody is your friend, or at least not your enemy, and they're giving you negative feedback, then they may be wrong, but it's coming from a good place. And sometimes even your enemies give you good negative feedback. When I started the first internet company, Zip2, with my brother and another person, Greg Curry, it wasn't really with the thought of being wealthy. I've got nothing against being wealthy, but
we'll get back to that later too.
but it's just it was just from the standpoint of wanting to be part of the internet, and I figured if we could make enough money to just get by, that would be okay. And when we started off, we literally only had like one computer, and so it would be our web server during the day, and I'd code at night. And we just got a small office in Palo Alto back when rent was not insane. And it cost us like $450 a month. It was cheaper than an apartment, so we actually just slept in the office and then showered at the YMCA on Page Mill, El Camino. So we'd walk over there and shower. And that was actually, I think that was when I first met you, by the way. So I don't know if how many people, probably not many people know this, but we actually pitched Steve in like January '96 on the Zip2 business plan. And actually, I thought Steve was actually one of the most up to speed on what actually was in our business plan. Most of the people we met did not actually read our business plan. In fact, a lot of venture capitalists we met at the time didn't even know what the internet was. They'd never used it.
I'm not
and they
sure,
didn't think
I'm
it would
not
amount
sure
to
if we still
anything.
do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm talking like, sort of well-known people in Sand Hill. It was like, wow, okay. But at the time, nobody had made any money on the internet, so I guess that's, it wasn't really clear evidence that there was a business. When I was a kid, I didn't really have any grand designs. I mean, the reason I started programming computers is because I like computer games. And I play lots of computer games, and I learned that if I wrote software and sold it, then I could get more money and buy better computers. So it wasn't really, with some grand vision or anything. When I was growing up, I'd read lots of books, and they were very often set in the United States, and it seemed like a lot of new technology was being developed in the United States. So I thought, okay, I really want to work on new technology, so I want to get to Silicon Valley. Which when I was growing up, Silicon Valley seemed like some sort of mythical place, like Mount Olympus or something. I think one thing that's important is if you have a choice of a lower valuation with someone you really like, or a higher valuation with someone you have a question mark about, take the lower valuation. It's better to have a higher quality venture capitalist who you think would be great to work with than to get a higher valuation with someone where there's even a question mark, really.
Is the secret to your success to be the CEO of two companies at the same time?
No. I think it's...
Because look at the correlation.
Yeah.
Struggling companies, everything's in the craft can in December 2008, so let's take on a new CEO gig. And same for Steve, coming back to Apple.
No, definitely it was not my intention to be CEO of two companies. There were certain things that I kind of wanted to... I thought were important to happen, and I thought it was important that there was... that an electric vehicle happened, that there was a success in the electric vehicle arena, because the incumbent companies were convinced that it was not possible to create an electric car that looked good, had a good range performance and so forth, and that even if you did make such a car, it would not sell, because people had this love of gasoline. So we had to show that it was possible to create a compelling electric car, long range, good looking, all those things. That was a Tesla Roadster. And if you if you made such a thing, people would buy it. I certainly was I was very, very bookish. I was reading all the time. So I was either reading, working on my computer, reading comics, playing Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of thing.
And I understand Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that wonderful book by Douglas Adams. That was a key book for you. What was it about that book that fired your imagination?
I guess when I was in around 12 or 13, I had kind of an existential crisis, and I was reading various books on trying to figure out the meaning of life, and what does it all mean? Because it starts seeming quite meaningless, and then we happen to have some books by Nietzsche and Schopenhauer in the house, which you should not read at age 14. It's bad. It's really negative. But then I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it was quite positive, I think, and it sort of highlighted an important point, which is that a lot of times the question is harder than the answer, and if you can properly phrase the question, then the answer is the easy part. And so, to the degree that we can better understand the universe, then we better know what questions to ask, and then whatever the question is that most approximates what's the meaning of life, that's the question we could ultimately get closer to understanding. And so I thought, well, to the degree that we can expand the scope and scale of consciousness and knowledge, human knowledge, then that would be a good thing. We've got a lot of work to do because we've got a lot of service centers and charge stations to construct.
So mostly it's like we're trying to build our service and charge infrastructure as fast as possible. And I know this, like some of the customers who have ordered a car, they're not in the major cities, so they're a little unhappy with us because we are delaying delivery of their car. In fact, I'm going to apologize to some of them personally and explain the reason we are delaying delivery is because we really want them to have a good experience. But if they're too far from a service center and the charging is not sorted out, then they will not have a good experience. So we're going to delay their cars just for a few months to make sure that they have a good experience. I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing.
Me Too type ideas.
Yeah, slight iterations
yeah.
on a theme, and it's kind of mentally easier to reason by analogy rather than from first principles. But by first principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world, and what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths, and say, okay, what are we sure is true, or as sure as possible is true, and then reason up from there. That takes a lot more mental energy.
Give me an example of that. Like, what's one thing that you've done that on that you feel has worked for you?
Sure. So somebody could say, in fact, people do, that battery packs are really expensive, and that's just the way they'll always be, because that's the way they've been in the past.
Some of us noticed that the stereo goes to 11 on the Tesla. This is a Spinal Tap reference for those who know that this one goes to 11 and you need just one more.
It's louder than loud.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. But no one seems to have noticed the product lineup. So you got the Model S, you got the Model X.
Oh, yeah.
You've just trademarked the Model E.
Yeah.
No one's bet anything.
What do you gotta,
and the Model
add
and the Model Y.
Yeah.
Now, what's behind this?
I know, exactly. Well, I guess there's not a lot of humor in the trademark law, you know. Because obviously we just trademarked sexy. And then we're having this discussion with Ford because the Ford's council they also didn't get it because they're sort of slightly opposing us using Model E.
When trying different things, you've got to have some acceptance of failure, as you were alluding to earlier. Failure must be an option. If failure is not an option, it's going to result in extremely conservative choices, and you may get something even worse than lack of innovation. Things may go backwards. If what you really want is you want reward and punishment to be proportionate to the actions that you seek. So if what you're seeking is innovation, then you should reward success in innovation, and only there should be minor consequences for trying and failing. There should be minor. With significant rewards for trying and succeeding, minor consequences for trying and not succeeding, and major negative consequences for not trying.
Or maybe I just blank out the word doubt. No, I mean, to be totally frank, I doubted us too. So I thought we, had maybe, when starting SpaceX, maybe had a 10% chance of reaching orbit. So to those who doubted us, I was like, well, I think you're probably right, I mean, the number of times that I was told, because I was taking the money that I earned from PayPal and rolling it into to create SpaceX and Tesla, and I ended up spending it all. It wasn't the intention, but almost both companies went bankrupt. Frankly, 2008 was a tough year. It took us 4 attempts just to get to orbit with Falcon 1. But a lot of times I was, people would tell me this joke, like, how do you make a small fortune in
rocket industry. You start with a large one is the punchline. And I was like, okay, I already heard that joke 12,000 times, you know. so anyway, and it almost came true. You know, we just barely made it there. That fourth launch of Falcon 1, that's all the money we had for that fourth launch. And then, and that wasn't even enough to save the company. We also then had to win the NASA cargo resupply contract. So that came a little after, you know, a little bit later, or right towards the end of 2008. Those are the two key things that saved SpaceX. Otherwise, we would have, you know, not made it. So, hey, I think those doubters were, their probability assessment was correct. But fortunately, fate has smiled upon us and brought us to this day.
As you look back on your career in the space industry, what has been the most surprising or unexpected challenge that you faced? And along those lines, if you were to go back in time and talk to your 20-year-old self, would you do anything differently?
Go back in time to your 20-year-old self.
I mean, I think if I could, I think it would make far fewer mistakes. Obviously, if I could go, like, here's a list of all the dumb things you're about to do. Please do not do them.
Wouldn't we all?
It'd be a very long list. And like, here, let me write it down or something. You know. I mean, it's hindsight's 20/20, so it's hard to say. I mean, I've made so many foolish mistakes. I lost count, honestly. I mean, some of these things I just wish like that's simple sort of mantra, management by rhyming. I mean, it worked for Homer, okay? But management by rhyming is that thing I was saying, like, if the schedule is long, the design is wrong. We've overcomplicated the design many times. And I think we should have just gone with a simpler design, with the acid test being, how long will it take for this to fly? And if it's going to take a long time, don't do it. Do something else. We need to push for radical breakthroughs. And if you don't push for radical breakthroughs, you're not going to get radical outcomes. And that does mean taking risks. And common sense that if you take a big risk, in order to have a big reward, there must be a big risk. It's most of the time you cannot find big reward for small risk. Those are rare. So you're going to have some proportionality with the risk and reward. Simplify your product as much as possible.
Good morning, guys. All right, I want to share a funny story with you today. This made me laugh when I saw it. This is from Evan Carmichael. You guys know I'm a big fan. He's a mentor for me. And when I went to his last filming session, he showed myself and another young lady that was there his painted nails as a way of showing, and those of you that follow him will know the story anyhow, but he's got these painted nails right now, and it's not something he felt comfortable doing, but he did it anyway. And he was trying to prove to himself and to everyone, help everyone understand, you got to get out of your comfort zone. But when I first saw it firsthand, and he showed me, and I looked at it, I thought, wow, that looks funny. But then I was laughing because I thought, good for him, and amazing in terms of the inspiration for me. Once we get uncomfortable, actually, we can have a lot of fun with it because we can laugh about it. So, you know, that's one of the big things for us to grow and be on this path of infinite mind wealth. Have a great day, everybody.
The Sigue el tutorial. Let me see you do it. Let me see you. Pop it, drop it, lock it. 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 Shake it, shake, 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 shake it. Ay, fuego la pista.
Thank you.